Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mondays with me, Dr. Crystal. So today is July 1st, and if you didn't already know, that means it is the beginning of the medical school year. So all over the country today, brand new doctors, interns, are starting their very first day of residency. Now there are always a ton of jokes about this time of year. People say, don't go to the hospital in July, it's all the new interns. You're not gonna survive if you go there in July. But although these doctors are new and a lot of them are very nervous, they also have gone through 4 years of med school, they've taken care of a ton of patients with guidance, and they would not be in this position if they weren't ready. I mean, you gotta fly sometime, right? Also, they have someone watching basically their every move until they prove themselves. And so if you have to go to the hospital in July, please don't worry, it is more than likely that you are in good hands. All of that being said, starting intern year for me was freaking scary. At this point for me, it was 5 years ago, and it seems like a lifetime ago, and at the same time, I remember it like it was yesterday. So today, I wanted to give you guys some insight on what it's like to be an intern, a brand new doctor. So we're gonna talk about the 5 most stressful parts of being an intern. If you have a first year resident in your life, make sure you give them a hug today. All right, this first one is definitely the most obvious, but now you are somebody's doctor. And not just one somebody, like a lot of somebodies. These people are coming to you in their time of need and looking at you to care for them and do what's best for them and their health. For me, this was absolutely terrifying. I felt like I wasn't ready, like I've never had sole ownership of a patient before. I just wanted to do right by them, I wanted to help them, and it was scary to have all of that trust when I was not yet confident. I did it, I got through, nobody got hurt as far as I know. The second most stressful thing is suddenly losing all of your time to work. And so at most med schools, 4th year, which is the last year of med school, is the easiest year and you have a lot more free time. You're just doing some electives, getting ready for residency. I remember in my 4th year, I tried a lot of new restaurants, I learned to snowboard, I hung out with my friends a lot more. It was amazing. And then it's literally like you go from the best year of your life to the most crazy busy year of your life. And suddenly you're working 80-hour work weeks, if you're lucky. It is just ridiculous. You're exhausted, waking up at like 4:35 every day, getting home when it's dark, going to bed, waking up, doing it again. I think the longest stretch I did my intern year was 20 days, and that was when I was in the ICU. And by the end of that, I was literally like crazy. I was just exhausted, and it's just really, really physically and mentally draining. Number 3, there is so much to learn. Now, if you are a good doctor, you never stop learning. There's always new research coming out. There's always new things to learn. You can always get better at stuff. But at the beginning of intern year, it is insane how much you learn in such a short time. And you might think, this person has just spent 4 years in med school. They've learned so much about medicine. They have got to be ready and comfortable to go into the hospital and take care of people. But when you start, you realize you know nothing. So literally every day this information is just like pouring into your head, and it actually happens really quickly and you get comfortable pretty quickly. But like learning a new hospital system, learning a new electronic medical record, learning how to take care of patients and round effectively and get your notes done and remember everything on rounds without having to look at the computer every 2 seconds. It is just a crazy amount of information, and I am amazed that brains can even do it. So the 4th stressful thing on my list is pages. So we have talked about pages in some of my previous videos, but I cannot express to you guys enough how anxiety provoking it is during like the first few days of residency, getting a page about a patient and having to decide what to do. Luckily, if you actually are stumped and you don't know what to do, there will always be a senior resident or an attending you can ask. You are never on your own, especially as an intern, without somebody to call if you have a question. That being said, you need to learn how to do this yourself, and you can't rely on somebody else all the time. At some point, you have to make decisions. And the thing is, you usually know the right thing to do. It's just kind of scary to do it without having somebody else's approval, because as a med student, you always have somebody over your shoulder like 24/7. About 80% of the time as a new intern, when I asked a question, I already knew what I thought I should do, but it is just really stressful to make that call until you start gaining confidence. The fifth and final stressful thing on my list is getting hangry. So I love to eat. Food is my jam, and I get hangry really quick when I get hungry, and so I need to eat. Getting used to an intern schedule is super tough because you're usually in the hospital. It is super busy. A lot of times you're rounding all morning, and then you gotta get all the orders in and check on your patients and blah, 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 blah. There's like 10,000 things to do. And a lot of times there is not really a set aside time where everybody is gonna get to go eat. And so you either bring a lunch with you, which you are gonna pack sometime when you get home late at night before you have to wake up at 5 the next morning. So I never packed a lunch. Or you have to tell yourself you need to get away, grab some food, and feed yourself. Now, a lot of times this is easier said than done, because if you have sick patients on the floor and you're really busy, stepping away for 5 or 10 minutes to grab something is just not an option. Even if you do have time to run and go get it from the cafeteria, then you have to have time to eat it. And this was really stressful for me because, like I said, I need to eat. Most days I was able to make time. Were there days I skipped lunch? Yes, but they were few and far between. And so I advise all you new interns, make time to eat, take care of yourself, make sure you're drinking water, because there were definitely times I went through a 12-hour shift without peeing, and that is not good. All right, guys, there are definitely hundreds of more stressful things about being an intern, but that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next week.